Okay, this is Autodesk Fusion. I'm just going to talk you through a few bits of the software so you get an understanding of how it works before we actually have a look at making some things. This is the area that we work in, but this area itself can be changed. So at the moment we're in the modeling environment. You see over here on the drop down we've got various other environments we can move into. Probably the only other one you're going to use will be the render environment, and that's when you want to actually take pictures of what you've created, so you render images based upon what you've got. Along the top here, whichever environment you're in, you get a set of tools, and anywhere where you've got a drop down little arrow there means that there's a whole selection of things you can pick from there. Okay, the working area we're in at the moment now is three-dimensional. Now we've got something called a view cube over here that allows us to move around. So if I wanted to see this model just from the front, I could click the front and it would change that view. If I want to go back or swing around, I can do any of these things by changing those views. And if I hit the press on the little house button, it'll take me back to the default view, which is a kind of isometric 3D type view. On my mouse, if I roll my mouse, I get zoom in and zoom out. Okay? If I hold down the shift button and I hold down the roll button on my mouse, I can basically do what's called orbiting. I can move in any direction that I want to see that particular bit of work. If I just want to move the thing itself, I just hold down the roll mouse button and I can move it anywhere I want on the page. Okay, we've got a few other things to point out. Down the bottom here, all the way along here, you can see all these little icons. These are basically things that I've done to this model. So it's like the history of how it's been built. So the very first thing I did here was I created a sketch. Okay, then I revolved the sketch and so on. If I hover over them, I can basically see what those things are that I did. I've got a little playhead. I can grab the playhead and I can step back to a particular point to see what it looked like before I did something else to it. I can actually even press the play and fast forward buttons down here and watch it like it's a bit of a movie. I'm not going to do that for the moment. We've got some other settings here, and they're mainly to do with how the thing looks on the screen. We can change some of these display settings and so on, but we're not going to bother with those for the time being. We're going to pretty much leave it as it is. The last thing we've got over here is our browser. Now you can delete the browser and you can minimize it and so on, but it's useful to have. The browser basically tells you all the bits that you've got that make up your model. So you'll see, and you'll find out how to do this yourself, but at the moment I've got 5 different components. If I click the light bulb, you can see it turns the component on and off. So that's showing me the lid, and then if I click the light bulb, it turns the lid off. I've got the tube in the middle of the bottle, I've got the actual press button for the perfume, and I've got the collar that goes around it, and I've got the bottle itself. So these are known as components. Later on you'll learn how to turn your models into components. And the reason we do that is because it's then easy to assemble them. We can take these different bits and we can slot them all together the way that we want. So some of these other things you might find out about later on, sketches, joints and so on, are basically the bits that help you make it. But this here, the actual browser will show you what all the bits are that are made up. Okay, at the very top you'll see a few things. Now the one on the left says data panel. If I open my data panel, it will show me all the things I've got saved in my libraries. I can click through here and I can see different projects that I might have been working on at different times, and all these things are saved on the cloud. I'll go back into my perfume bottles one, and the one I've got loaded at the moment is the top one it's shown, but I've got other ones that I could open up and play with as well. I'm not going to do anything other than show you that that's how you see them and that's how you close it. We've got options here for doing things like saving. Okay, we've got undo and redo like we have in lots of other bits of software, and then over on the right hand side we've got information that we need. So this tells me that I'm logged in. I've used my Autodesk account and I'm working basically online. If I work offline, it means it only saves the work onto the computer. Sometimes you might want to do that, but mostly you want to be set up so you're working online, because that allows you then to do what's called cloud rendering later on, which is to make nice pictures of what you've made. So that's the basic environment. Lots to take on board, but you'll see a little bit more of it when I actually show you how to make some bottles, and that will make more sense then. Okay.